Welcome to episode number 26. I just had a freaking incredible discussion with Trang. She is amazing. Honestly, it was literally a discussion, those type of discussion where you connect from soul to soul, heart to heart. It was just, for me, it was a blessing. It was just like receiving a gift because this girl, I can tell you, she is doing the work. She is doing the work. And a bit of background, she was born with a physical difference that made her want for years and years and years to fit in and make up for it. So in this podcast, we started with, the energy of I need to fit in order for me to be accepted, to now becoming the main character of her life, to basically turning into the CEO of her life. And she shares her path with so much vulnerability. She's still on the path, like every one of us. I do believe that it's kind of never really ending. It's getting better and better for sure, but never ending. And wow, what it took for her to go from accepting herself, embracing herself, and learning how to be the main character of her life, I feel that this is going to inspire you a lot. And if you've been around with my work for some time, you know that I'm all in for the depths, the subtleties, the essentials of life, and what really, really makes a difference from where I am here right now in my life and where I want to be, and true self-love, true self-acceptance, and becoming more of ourselves. And I can tell you, she's doing the work. I can tell you she's very, very in tune with herself. And we had one of the most special discussion on this podcast so far because, yeah, we are talking to what the ego does and the resistance and the real, real, real deal beneath all the healing modalities you can have out there, the yoga, the meditation, whatever it is that you do. It's not about what you do, it's how you do it. It's your approach to life and to yourself. This is literally what we talk about in this podcast, in this episode. So, yeah, I'm beyond grateful. I hope you're going to enjoy it the same way we did because we had a lot of fun. We freaking enjoyed it. I'm still feeling high from that conversation. And yeah, without any further ado, I let you enjoy the show. Okay, welcome Trang. I'm super, super excited to have you here. We had to do some mic testing and stuff just to make sure that the sound is right. So be kind with us, even if the sound is a bit sometimes like rap. It's gonna be cool. Trang is here to share actually an amazing story. Like we started to speak behind the scenes of the story she wants to share, and it's basically about being born different and wanting all her life to fit in to now being like, fuck it. Now I'm the main character of my life and I'm going to show you how you can be the own character of your own life. So yeah, I'm beyond excited to have you here. And Trang, if you want to introduce yourself to our audience, please be my guest.
Oh, thank you so much for the warm welcome, Marine. It's such a beautiful time and moment to be here with you, and thank you so much for having me here on this podcast and sharing like this part of the journey together. So I'm Trang. I was originally born in Vietnam, and yeah, a little bit different. We'll dive into that story just a little bit later. I moved to Australia, started I was an accountant and then turning into a marketer, passionate marketers, and now I'm an entrepreneur running my own marketing agency for the past 3 years and traveling the world. And my mission is to be able to help do good for the world with marketing, help people step into their main character energy, live the best freaking life that they could have and share that with the world. So we help them share that with the world through content, and so they can help inspire and liberate others to do the same. And right now I'm on my own journey of stepping into my own main character energy as well.
That's so amazing. Yeah, I think like basically the goal as human is to learn how to be our own, like, our own advisor, our own coach, our own, basically living as the main character of our lives. I feel like this is the theme.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, definitely. And I don't know if you feel like diving into your story right now, because I feel like that would be an amazing start as well to really understand the energy behind. You've been trying for so long to fit in, and to be someone you're not, just to be accepted. And I feel like this is a story, even though that might look different for different people, because we all come from different background and we have different obstacles, challenges. But I feel like this is an energy, like a situation that so many of us can resonate with. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you can share that, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Marine. So, yeah, I'm with you. And I think, yes, like it might play out differently for each of us, but I'm sure I'm not alone in this journey, like where I feel like, oh, I'm, a little bit different, left out, and trying so hard to fit in. And so I hope like this story can really help someone if you ever feel like inadequate, like you're not enough, like you wish you can be like somebody else. And I hope that it can inspire them to realize that like they are the biggest gift and being themselves is everything that they ever need. And so I was born with a cleft lip, and for those who don't know, it's mean that like there's a big gap in my nose and my jaw when I was born naturally. And even though it's not super uncommon, like there's people who have it, like I think it still cause probably great pains for my parents when they see their child um, being born incomplete physically. And so they do the best they know how. But I think there's that little pain of like, okay, like in a society, so I'm from Vietnam, so we're in a society where like fitting in and be like everybody else is the mojo. It's like try to be like everybody else. Like I still remember there's this moment when I was like maybe 3 or 4, like, and I wanted to dress differently. Like I always have like slightly different, unique style. And then I remember my mom was sharing with me, like, she's like, like, try not to stand out too much. Like, try to be like everybody else. And somehow that line stuck with me. Because I think it's such a gift that naturally I'm standing out. There is no way I can fit in. Like, I was make fun of when probably since I've have awareness, like people already say things about me or the sorry looks in their eyes or things like, well, later on when you grow up, maybe if you have a husband, like you're gonna have to make up for it. You're gonna have to make up for your look with something else. And so that became a theme for 30 years of my life where I try so hard to make up for my look, for something that I thought that I was physically missing. Um, the little, how I say it is like in my a little gap in my appearance and a big hole in my heart
Wow.
for the longest time because I wish I could just be normal like everybody else, and I don't really have like I go to kindergarten and all the kids make fun of me, and I don't really have a lot of friends growing up, always kind of feeling like the odd one out. And so, and then trying really, really hard for so many years to make up for the lacking, the little gap here and the big hole here. I try so hard to make up for the lacking. I was always like the top student at school. And or like, okay, you can't be the prettiest one, so be the smartest one, like try to make up for it. And so that built up like a high functioning pattern. And then probably until when I'm like 29 or 30, that slowly and slowly I started releasing that pressure and start actually stepping into my own story and realizing like nobody noticed. Nobody even noticed, it was just me. It was just me. um and I like start owning my story and realizing like being born with the cleft lip is such a gift because I was never meant to fit in anyway. And so it's okay to stand now, and actually all of us, we all have our uniqueness. We all, and I'm sure like it may not be the club lip, but it's gonna be many, many instances where each of us feel like just a little thing and we feel like we're not fitting in, we don't belong, we're different. And I realize that probably a lot of people feel this. It's not just me. It might not be the physical representation, but that feeling of like, oh God, I just want to be like into somebody else and not me. I just want to be normal. I just maybe like there's that sensitivity, like I don't want to be that sensitive. I just want to be this version like everybody else. And I realize that it's so funny because the metaphor I use is like we're all angels with wings, and then we try to cut our wings so we can be normal. And so
Yeah,
all
but
of
then
us
you
are
can't
just,
fly anymore. That's sad.
yeah, then we can't fly, right? And so like it's to this journey is to realize that like, ooh, the very things that makes you different, that is your wings. That makes you an angel. That makes you fly. That makes you the
Mm.
unicorn. Like, the greatest pain that I have there has now turned into the biggest missions for me to own my story and to help other people really see like the beauty and the magic in being themselves and everything that they ever felt like they weren't enough, they were inadequate, they were incomplete, or they different. That's the very things that makes them special, that make them unique, that make them a gift to the world. And I hope that everyone can get to turn that part into their very much superpower that they can serve and give to the world. And my hope is that I can create a world where like all the uniqueness is being cherished and we realize that beauty exists in every single one of us.
Wow, I have the goosebumps literally all over. I can, and also,
You.
yeah, you too. And I can feel like the potency in your message. I can feel it's really something that is so deep to your heart. I can see it in like the way you act, in your voice, and like what's happening right now for you. Because
Yeah, I'm feeling
yeah,
it.
I feel like this is such an important thing, and it's so true. Like, even if people weren't born with like, a physical difference, we all, to some degree, have that moment in our lives where we're wondering, like, okay, I just wish I was just not different, not that different, and more accepted. Like, I
Yeah.
personally resonate with that because growing up, I was a lot in my own world, like kind of shy, introverted, and being
Yeah.
really in my own stories and yeah, in my own weird things. And I felt like I was more like the outsider basically, and being. I had friends, not so many. I lost a lot of them as well, and I always felt like I didn't belong and that something was wrong with me, to some degree. And so yeah, this is, I believe, we're far from the only one here, definitely. And as
Yeah.
you said, this is also part of your greatest gift because me being in my own world was actually just like channeling, being with like what's like the less visible and being more open and sensitive to all the things out there. And yeah, this is what I do now as a job. So
Yes.
yeah. So this is, but it takes time also to realize that because at first it feels like it's a curse, and
Mm,
then when you grow up slowly and you do also, you dare to look inward and to look inside and do all the personal development work, the healing work. This is when you get to alchemize that and turn that into wings or get your wings back, where they belong and where they should be so that you can fly. So,
yeah.
yeah, so important. And what actually made the difference for you? What made you see that actually this was not a curse but a gift? Like what created that? What triggered that?
So I started coaching. I think that was the beginning of it all. I when I started my marketing career, it must be fate, but I started at a marketing assistant in a coaching school. And so I was introduced to that beautiful world where, where there's a deeper work. There's a lot more space to do the inner work. And then I started, after a year, I started having my first coach myself. I think that's the beginning of it all, where someone is mirroring back to me my own beauty. And mirroring back to me like, okay, starting to love every single part of me. And so I think that's the beginning of the journey. And I remember there was a moment where I think I read a book by Brene Brown, but I can't remember one of her beautiful books. And she say like, was that we gotta something along the line of like we gotta stop hustling for our worthiness and stepping into our own story. And I remember sitting in the car, like crying for 3 hours, like with just that one sentence, because I'm like, oh, yeah, like I gotta stop hustling for my worthiness because I'm already worthy and this is my story. Like I can't run away from it. I can't pretend it doesn't happen. It's so funny because in the past, I don't talk about my cleft lips at all. I had a partner and he asked me like, what is this scar here? And like beautiful human loved me so much. And so whole relationship, I don't tell him. I never tell him like it's a cleft lips, like because I read some random information online that say like you can pass it on to your children. And so I was I don't even know if he knows. I'm just like trying to avoid. Like I just don't tell him at all that this I have a cleft lip and because I'm like, well, maybe he won't love me anymore because I have like historical experience in the past where I thought people don't love me anymore because of how I look. And so when I listened to that sentence, I realized like I can't hide. Like it's on me. This is a permanent mark of my wings. I can't take it off. Like my wings is permanent. It show up on my body. I can't take it off. So I'm just gonna own it. I need it. I'm gonna have it, and it's gonna be mine. And I'm gonna start loving it. And I'm gonna start loving it as part of my story. And so I think that's a luck. Like how I see it now, I'm just like I'm so lucky because my wing is permanent. So I can't do anything about it. I can't do anything about it. I'm gonna keep it. Yeah. And so I think that was a turning point. And then it still took a couple of years. And I would say like I've only started talking about my cleft lips like in the past 1 or 2 years. Yeah, before that it was a long journey. That's still a lot of healing in internally, and I probably some part is still in the work at the moment, like we all do.
Yeah, because it's always layers and layers and layers. Like what you think is healed. Like I have some clients here who are like more than twice my age, and they're like, I've
Mm.
done years and years of healing. I don't know why it's keep happening. Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole
Yeah.
point of the journey is that you keep evolving
So
and you refine
true.
and you go deeper and deeper and you go into more subtleties. And yeah, I feel like that. I don't know if you can really fully 100% heal from something, or maybe that's enlightenment. I don't know. To be fair, I don't know. But I believe that we can make it so much better and feel like so much at ease with parts of us. And to me, it's
Mm.
more like it doesn't mean that you heal a part of you, but it's more that you help that part release trauma and past wounds. Like you really help them um, heal and let go of all the bullshit, basically all the old beliefs that are not serving anymore, all the emotions that are like really like weighing down on the shoulders. And it's not about rejecting who we are in the end. Like true healing is when we just embrace who we are. And I feel like this is 80% of the healing. It's not even changing who you are, it's just accepting who you are. And from there, this is when you get to evolve into maybe a higher potential, higher timeline, higher self. But I believe, like, especially in the healing industry, because we want to be so authentic and accept who we are, na na na. But I feel like some part of it is so misunderstood and can really make so much damage because it makes you believe
Mm.
that there is a higher version of you, that there is a better part of you, there is a better you. Well, no, it's still you. It's like you learning how to accept and embrace yourself. This is where the wonder is.
Yes. Like I know we're on a podcast, so I can't scream, but like hearing what you say, I'm just like inside, like my internal, just like yes, yes. Um,
You could scream, like if you take the
yeah,
mic a
like
bit away.
oh, like ah. Yes, because my heart just feeling that so much, like exactly what you were saying here. It's like if I'm gonna share this part. So, because I was going through a little bit of like moment of connecting with myself this morning, because I'm moving through this part of my journey that's called the main character energy. And then I realized this morning that I put this pressure on myself that I, because it's my life and I need to live the best life. Somehow I'm like thinking that this current life is not good enough. Like,
Mm.
it's so easy to get into the lack and go, oh, but like my life is a little like quiet right now, like, but my mission is to live like the best life. So I gotta go live the best life. It is not there. And then like something came to me like as I was doing the work this morning. I'm like, no, this is a great fucking life because it's mine.
Mm.
And so in the same message, it's like you you're already complete. You're already where you need to be because it's you. Like it's you. Like there's
Mm.
I don't even know how to you put it into words better than I do. But it's because it's everything that we can love that makes it beautiful. It's not this version of higher self and this version of like the good life, of however we thought that it would be. It's already good because it's ours to create and we get to live in it.
Hmm. Yeah, you
And
put it
you're,
beautifully. Yeah. Yeah, and
yeah,
the problem is when we create dissonance with ourselves, like there is a break between us and us. This is like
mm,
basically we're resisting ourselves, and this is what creates the real problem. This is where we lose all this self-love and self-acceptance because in the end, and it, like in the end, to me, the universe, the divine, God, however we want to call it, this is, there is no duality in it. There is no good or bad, in the end, like
yeah,
ultimately. But because we are human, we live, of course, in a world of paradoxes and duality. But I feel like when we
mm,
really want to get at peace with ourselves and don't even just like live the best life, but if we really want to find peace, find a home within, and really feel like we're our own freaking best friends, this is when we
yeah,
just embrace who we are, even though we are still like looking at life, like for example where I'm standing right now, I'm way more like I'm coming back into life. Literally, this is something I can say because I've been so much like trying to make the business work and everything, and it didn't because I was more in that push energy because I was resisting my own path, my own self.
mm,
And so I started to
mm,
find a job. And I know, like, for example, here now I need to create more space for fun, going to festivals and dancing. And so I feel like slowly taking up the space as the main character of my life, but in order for me to do that, I need to surrender and accept that, hey, I was playing on the side. I was not really even playing. And I feel like this is part of the job, like this is the main thing. And we started to speak about resistance as well before we just
mm,
started to record. But this is the thing. The more we put, like, the problem is never the problem, it's the resistance, it's the fact that we believe there is a problem. And what makes you
mm,
believe there is a problem is because you are resisting something about you. You're resisting something about your life. And in the end, it's like we don't even care if you're living the freaking best life that you can share on social media and it looks freaking cool, or if you're just like crawling in your bed, like, it's still life. It's still
yeah,
life. And that's the point, because when you're able to embrace that life, whether you're in the bed crawling or
yeah,
living your best life, it's not really about the what, it's the how. It's about you being able to surrender and embrace it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it so much. Yeah, it's not about the what, it's the how. Like
Yeah,
to actually be alive and awake for all of it. So
exactly.
to not being in this moment and think, oh, there's another version of life that I could live that is better than this very moment that I'm in. So I think when I when I sit with like the main character and live the great life, like I myself misunderstood myself. I think so. I started somehow my brain started create this version of the fabulous life or whatever that might be, instead of realizing no, like the key message at the end of the day, like this, the heart of it all is actually like be alive in this life, like be present in this moment, like in this conversation, in the moment where I'm crawling in bed,
Hmm.
and be awake for it, and not zoning out to somewhere else. And the same with ourselves, like be present for ourselves, like for our feelings, for our emotion, for the things that happening in our bodies, versus thinking that, you know, there's a different, some other version of ourselves exists out there. And we're not
Yeah.
it, so the we're rejecting a lot of ourselves in that process.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Or when, we say that, it's all about feeling the feelings, when you want to transmute them and change them and elevate your vibration, it's about feeling the feelings. But in wanting to do that, and it's so funny because I'm hosting a challenge right now, like it's called On Your Weird, that was like linked to the masterclass that I
Yeah.
just did. And today was about readiness, the principle of readiness. And readiness is about not forcing yourself, not avoiding either, but not forcing yourself. And when we really want, when there's this hard emotion to process, and we're like, I know I have the tools, I'm going to transmute it oh, who wants to transmute that? You or your ego? Because we're
Yeah.
just resisting so much how we are feeling inside. I still do this. I still do this. Like I come from a background where feeling my emotions was not even like a possibility. I was really avoiding them hard, and now I'm getting to the point where I want to force it too much. you know, I feel something and I'm like, okay, now it has to go, but it's still
Me too.
resistance. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still the same resistance. It's crazy. So it's very interesting to observe like what's really happening inside of us. What is because if we're still trying to live the best life or trying to transmute the feelings in order to
Mm.
control. That's the
Mm.
ego talking. That's still resistance. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we must be in the same wavelength or something. Because in this so many things that we talk about, I'm just like, huh? Resistant? Yes, that's what I'm thinking about too. Oh, and the same with the emotions, like, because I promised myself that I will be more present for my feelings. Um, and then in exactly what you described in that process in the past few weeks, when something like challenging or difficult comes, I'm so zoom in because I want to get rid of it.
Yeah,
Because I
you
want to get
see.
rid of it, right? So then I'm just like, let's work on this. Let's work on this a lot right now. So like we can actually release it, like
But why it's not working? I don't understand. Usually it works.
yeah.
Because resistance.
Uh,
Yeah, it's like basically I like to describe it as an onion, but you add the layer of resistance because like it's pretty easy connecting with the feelings. Like we all have like most likely if you're listening to this podcast, like somatic tools or some tools to help you make this emotional release. But what makes it work or not is your capacity to completely surrender to the
mm,
process and not try to get to any outcomes. Goosebumps,
yeah.
that's a truth. Yeah, because when we
Yeah.
try to, whether we try to avoid or force it because we don't want to feel it, this is basically signaling that part of us that is holding the emotion that it is not safe to let that emotion out. So you close it, and so you cannot access the emotion anymore that you first wanted to feel. And on top of that, you add like way more emotions that bring your energy like super, super, super low because you add more of this, maybe the guilt, the shame, the frustration. So it's like you make it worse. And sometimes it's just better to be like, okay, you know what? You're here. I don't feel ready to dive into you right now. I'm just staying with that emotion. I stay with that bad, maybe energy until it's like sometimes it takes me 3, 4 days when I
Yeah.
feel like something heavy that I know is a hard one. Like there's a part avoiding, sure, but there is also the part that knows that okay, maybe we're not ready now. And when it's the right time, I would put maybe some music and start dancing, just like dating. Basically, it's just
Tell
like
me more.
dating. Yeah, or dating or sex. Basically, you don't go straight to the point or like what's the point otherwise? There is no all the flirtation and the fun and it's nice and you get closer, getting there. You just don't go straight to orgasm boom, that's
Mm,
boring in the end.
yeah.
And I feel like with feeling our emotions and allowing ourselves to embrace who we deeply are, this is the same flirtation process. So maybe dancing with yourself, putting the music, and slowly go inward, but not trying to force it. So it's like it's signaling your body that, okay, I'm here, I'm present, we're gonna open, I'm so ready for you, I want you to feel safe. And then those
Mm.
emotions are gonna be like, are we sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, dancing a bit. Okay, I'm feeling okay. Okay, let's go. And then the emotion is leading because I really believe that in the end, the emotion should lead. It's not you leading the process. It's you being like,
Mm.
I decide, I commit that we are now doing it and I give you the space. Now you lead. I give you the keys and I surrender.
Yeah.
To me, this is like
Oh.
the, you see, like this is really how it should be, you know? I mean, if we want to make it smooth and if we really want to make that emotional release work, this is, to me at least,
Yeah.
this is really how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon like our ego is very smart, you know. So in knowing all of this, it's so funny because before you started doing the healing work, you thought, you know, like once once I get to certain point, I will be able to just be. And you know, I no longer like I think for me personally, before I start onto this realm, like, oh, you know, like imagine like when once I have all the awareness and when I have all the like know all the knowing, surely it will be different, right? But actually, like the ego has like a funny way to slide in eat like
Yeah.
if anything, it's so interesting. If anything, even more now that you know more, the ego have more to say. Like you know, our ego has had now been educated in the
I
ultimate.
love how you say that. This is so freaking true. It's just like for
Yeah,
me, you know the movie Inception?
yeah,
Yeah, it's just like an inception because at first you don't know what you don't know. So the ego has no idea and then boom, you know there is this like awaken, like the spiritual awakening and the ego is like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And you're like, "Oh, this is amazing." But then the
yeah,
ego knows. And so the ego tries to reproduce something like, "Oh, you had an amazing feeling. I want to feel that again. Let's do it again." So
yeah.
that. And now that you know that, your ego knows that as well. So your ego is going to be like, okay, so she's going to try to do something. Then she's going to want to surrender. And so we have to surrender in order to. Ah!
Yeah,
Leave me
right.
alone.
Like it's even more. It's even more, and then the keyword.
Layers and. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm like, I thought I would be like healed by now, but you know, the ego is now have more. My ego is now so smart, and so, and so aware. Like you know, so aware. Um, but it even be like it's there's so much beauty in keep going on the edge, like keep leaning into the edge of surrender, where there's just new level all the time. And sure, the ego can have fun catching up as long as it's because it will. I think it will, but you know, as long as we're remember like who we are, what we're here for, like remember. And by saying who we are, I know it also sounds a little bit egoistic, but it's really like remember in our heart, like
Hmm. Like the body remembering.
yeah,
Like
like
it's
the body
something that happens in the
remembering,
body.
yeah,
Hmm.
of letting go, of leaning into these moment and as much as like the ego is catching up in education, we're still I think there's still so much more within us that, you know, will once we surrender, once we're leaning in, will allow us to introduce new things. Um, like I remember I was feeling the resistance a few days ago, and then I remember just kind of wondering, I'm like, you know, what is so bad about feeling like this? Like, why do I have to let it, like, why do I have to try to get rid of it? Like, what's so bad about it? Okay, cool, like, not so bad. Like, and so I think it's then allowed my body to feel safe in the, oh, so it's safe to feel this. Okay. It's not a,
Hmm.
it wasn't a big deal. Like, we don't have to get rid of it right now. Like, we can just be with this moment and we're fine and our body is safe. And so then, I'm like, okay, new things unlock. So I guess this is part of the journey, right? I'll keep unlocking new level of
Yeah, new
surrendering.
revelation and yeah, new level of
Yeah,
surrender, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, no, 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 true. Yeah, it's like a full, it's so interesting how it works with the ego always trying to sneak in. And then, this is the spiritual ego at some point. Like maybe we've been through
Mm,
the, oh, now I know it all. Or, okay, now I will just pretend I don't know it all because apparently this is the thing we're supposed to do so that we are very spiritual and mastering things. It's like
mm,
always going into all like the integrates, like wherever you can go. And I believe in the end, what really makes us free, because there are always going to be layers and layers and layers, and to me, what how I do it in my body, like from a body standpoint, is
mm,
just to feel where is the sensation of the resistance or the ego, where is it? And just be
mm,
with it and observe. And it can't do
mm.
anything, because when you stop thinking, the ego cannot be here. It's impossible for the ego to be here. And thoughts
Yeah.
are even sensations. Like before they become thoughts, they are sensations. And so when you're able to observe yourself and feel when a thought is going to come, you can sometimes have not the thought, like the exact words in your head, but the impression of what it's going to say. And the further, like, the further away you're able to go, the more you are able to just be in your body fully. And for me, that's an amazing way to stop thinking. Be
Mm,
with just the sensations and stay with that, like leave the story, whatever is going to happen, or when it happens, you just let go of the story, connect with the feeling it creates inside of you, stay with the body. Ooh. And to me, that's when you get to transcend all the layers, because the ego has no more space to really express itself. So you are with the body and you are. And this is usually the moments where I have all the goosebumps, the wave of energy, because this is when, to me, I become a pure channel, you know?
yeah,
So there
that's
is a
so
way out.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, that's so valuable. Like, yeah, I really love what you just shared. Like, I think it's very in the heart and very like whoever get to listen to this going to, I hope that they will like experience it, get to experience. It's such a simple thing, yet it's so powerful to be because our mind is strong, and I think it's like uh, generally in a high functioning world that we live in, like our brain is running faster and faster more than ever, and
So
like
true.
and I think specifically as the women, like learning to be in our body is the great one of the greatest gift um, for ourselves, which me myself too. I'm still working through that as well. And I never thought
We
like there
all
would be a
are.
yeah. I never thought there would be a day I say this, but I do it usually through dancing. Um, and given like the shy little girl that I was and like hiding away from the world, like I never thought like I would dancing would be like my channel to be in touch with my body. Um, and I've started doing it more and more these days, and there's so many different way of like I usually like just do free dancing in my body, just all the wave, however I feel. And I also notice um, one of the recent dance that I do recently is because I noticed something in me. I was in this call, and there are so many beautiful women. And I noticed I started maybe doing a little bit of comparing, and I was looking at like I was like, wow, she is so feminine. She's so like in her goddess energy, like so soft and so feminine. And then I kind of catch myself in that moment. Because I'm like, when you do that, when I do that, that means that I'm seeing it as something that I don't have. That's why I'm comparing myself or admiring somebody else. And so I didn't know this um, at the time that I started the dance, but I'm like, okay, you know, let's feel sexy. And so, yeah, and then so I just start dancing and feel sexy and like do more of like more in touch with my body, more in touch with myself, and I think it set me free. I'm like, oh, I am sexy. And so,
You
yeah,
are.
Thank you. Thank you. And I believe that like all of these beautiful things that we see in somebody else that we might or might not think that well like feel like we're lack within, we already have it within us. We just need to tap into different part of ourselves
Yeah,
for
definitely.
that.
And
Yeah.
something that I heard and that made a whole difference for me is that, when you dream about something, when you really want something, you have a desire, and when you see qualities in someone, well, why are you able to see that, to dream that, to desire that? Maybe because you
Yeah.
have that in you.
Oh. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom, I
I
love
have the
it.
goosebumps. Yeah. And
Yeah.
what we don't like to hear, but it's still true as well. Same for, oh, that annoys me with that person. I don't like when they do that. I hate that.
Yeah.
Well, why do you see that? Why do you feel trigger? Oh, maybe because you have that as well.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's the same. It's just like we are yin and yang, we are dark and we are light as well. We are everything at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about
One
like this full surrender and embracing that. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Oh, like I'm so glad that we met each other because everything you talk about, like, I feel so aligned with. And that has been something that I talk about a lot as well. Like, if something triggers or annoying you, um, it's, yeah, it probably means that there's that path that yours resent a little bit within yourself. Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, either that or something else. There's something in there for you to explore when you're triggered by somebody else's pattern. And
Definitely.
actually, I find that it's actually really help in having the heart for people and like have a bit more like compassion or relate to people, especially the one that trigger you, and realize that we're much more alike than different. Because
Mm.
because of that bit that like there may be something in there for me to real like mm, I think actually we're more triggered by people who are actually have more things that are deeply alike to us than actually the people who have several things that are alike to us. Like if you like the same music, it's fine. But there's like a deeper one or pattern or something that is deeper level. Actually, we're more triggered by people who are alike. And so that bring me into, of course, you don't have to love the person, but it's also ease off that like we're not enemies. We're not that different. We all have different
Mm.
part of ourselves that we're healing and we're working through. And so like and be thankful for that person to bring out that path
Yeah.
in you that you didn't notice before.
Yeah, that is so true. And as well, it's about not forcing that. It's about like literally not forcing that, because if you really feel
Mm.
like sometimes I see someone, I don't know what, but I'm like, I hate that person. I would not
Yeah.
hate, but I just want to smash them in the face. And I'm like,
Yeah.
usually I'm very kind and loving, and I'm like, I don't know why I have that. I don't even talk to them, but
Yeah.
something in me feels triggered because I see, like in the bus, someone is like with a chewing gum and like, I'm like, oh my God. Stop doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, then it's about like it's super hard to be like, okay, what in me is being triggered? And there is something, a gesture I really like to do. When you point someone, like you point your finger at someone, there are three fingers here pointing back at you.
Mm.
So there
I
is
love
always
that.
something. There is always something in here. And to me personally, the person who triggers me the most, my sister. My sister. And whenever somebody says, "Ah, you look so the same. You're so similar in the way you talk, in your behavior," I'm like, "Sure." Are you sure? I
Yeah.
don't think so. And I love her, don't get me wrong, I freaking love
Yeah.
her. But she has the freaking gift and power to show me parts of me that still needs healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many different version of this and like I'm so with you in what you say. Like sometimes sure, like sometimes it's just yeah, the person who have like I've had pet peeves too. And I was like, okay, these people I don't like and it doesn't necessarily always have to have deep meaning healing work inside each of everything that everyone does. And I do believe that we sometimes do know in our heart like the resistance towards something greater that is good for ourselves that we can leaning
Mm.
into. And then just the simple of like, not my people, you know, and it's
Yeah,
okay.
and it's about
Yeah.
embracing it, like because also sometimes in this like spiritual world, everyone wants to be, oh, I love everyone. I'm
Yeah.
one with all that is. No, no, no. But I still do things that kind of show me that you don't really like me. So, and so it's really
Mm.
about like just embracing who the fuck you are. Like in you can have so much love for someone and then you can also have still some hate, but I feel like the worst is not to hate someone but to resent the fact that we hate someone or even hide it from ourselves because we so identify with being love, pure love and light,
Yeah.
that we just
Yeah.
reject part of us. And to me, that's way worse because there is shame about parts of you.
Yeah.
So you're
And
hating yourself. Yeah.
oh, on point, Marine, on point. Um, so this is tied into like the good girl conversation that you and I had originally. I think this is the core of it all. Is
Mm,
a typical good girl, and I know that there's still a lot of part of it that I'm healing from, is known to be nice, is known to be, and then like as I go into my journey of like more love, more passion, more compassion, then I'm like, oh, I'm a kind person, right? So that's kind of umbrella it all. It's like allow me to hide in the good girl character sometime to people please, to love everyone, kindness for everyone. um but that energy like you talk about, when that energy is sent out, is because we in sometime in the extreme kindness to other people, we are extremely unkind to ourselves. Like,
goosebumps.
yeah, because that's the, I think that's a good girl's trait. It's like always be nice to other, always taking care of other people. And when we're extremely unkind to ourselves, like one day it's gonna bust. And then so we'll have these like busting moment of like blow out of
Rage.
nowhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
rage, anger. It's blow out of nowhere. And we thought it's blow out of nowhere until we do the work. And we realize that like, oh, so the answer is not in the problems. The answer is not in the addressing the blowout or the anger or what it is, but actually being kind to ourselves from the start, and like bring that balance to ourselves, like give some of the kindness to ourselves instead of having this. It doesn't, like, we want, if we want to, we can have the grand love for the world, but us first, putting us first into the table, I think is one of the biggest journey that I am going through, and I
Mm.
think a lot of good girls are going through at the moment. But it's a beautiful journey of like slowly we're putting ourselves to be the main character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And here again, because like then we go in the personal development sphere and there is so much personal at some point. Like people think about the personal development and forget about others, which is also to me not good. And I feel
Mm,
like because it's like, this metaphor with you can't pour water in somebody else's glass if your glass is empty, of course. So you need to
yeah.
fill it first.
Mm,
And I believe also that through being kind to ourselves, because when you're able to love yourself, be kind with yourself, and respect yourself, then you're better able to do it for others, to love others, to respect others. Because when your glass is full, when you feel that you respect yourself, you
mm,
come from that full energy that is like, this bubble that is filled with, juiciness, and you are able to provide that as well for others. But if you come from a dry space, maybe you're going to be more reactive, more mean to people without wanting it. And then part of you is like, I want to be kind, but I'm doing this mean thing. And then it goes like crazy. Versus you could really focus on you, fill your cup, and then from there you realize that you just naturally pour into people. You flow naturally
yes.
into life. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I believe this is also like such an amazing way to round that up because it's like, yeah, that's the whole point. It's not about being the good girl or the bad girl or whatever. It's just about being you.
Yeah. No good, no
That
bad. Just you.
no
It's
good,
fine.
no bad, just you. You're you. However
Yeah.
you're showing, like whether you're listening, like half listening, or like running at the same time, or like fully devoted to listening this episode, it doesn't matter. You're here, you're present, you're life.
Mm.
Period. Yeah.
Yeah, love that,
Yes.
darling.
Yeah. And also, before we close that, how can people meet you? Can they connect with you?
Oh, so my Instagram is Trang's Life. I'll drop in here as well, and maybe you can. Well, let me see if I can. Should I drop it here in my
I
names?
will just drive. I will. Don't worry. I will put this in the. I can do that later in the editing, and I will like
Yeah,
put that as well in the description. So no worries. People
yeah,
will know.
yeah. So it'll be beautiful to connect with everyone there on Instagram. That's where I show my heart and my world. And so looking forward to connecting with everyone on the call. And I know that, if their audience, they're your audience, Marine, they have a beautiful heart and a beautiful soul and they're on their journey. So very grateful to connect.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Well, that was such a pleasure to have this conversation.
Thank
That was
you.
a freaking cool one, and I love that you're seeing through. You are in the work. Like you're really doing the like to me, I really value that because you're staying with what's essential, and this is this whole game of resistance, surrender, being with life, being yourself, and I I'm honored. It was a privilege to have you here, honestly. So thank you so so much.
Thanks,
And
darling.
yeah, and
So
have the
great to
best
be here.
day. Ciao, ciao, everyone.
Ciao.